Hello there. I wanted to give you a quick overview of our science project Google Slides presentation that we have formatted for you. First, I'm going to go over how it's laid out, and then I will show you how you can add your own flair to it. First, we have our title page, so you will replace, double click, and you can type in your title, put your number that was assigned to you by your teacher, not your name. Then you can put your grade level there. Next slide is for your purpose statement. I've given you two examples, but you write it how it was approved by your teacher. Next is your hypothesis. Again, I'm putting the information straight from the packet that you received from your teacher. Remember, you want to say if I change your independent variable, the one thing that you changed, then your dependent variable, what you measured, because of the background research that you have done. Next is your variables. Remember, independent, the one thing you're changing, you're going to list it out here. I have it bulleted for you. Then your dependent variable, what you're measuring and how you're measuring it and what unit. Your constants, you're going to have several of these. And then your control group, if there is one. If there's not one, you just put no control. Your materials list. We have I've again bulleted the items for you. Remember to include everything you use, and the quantities is very important. You want to make sure you're using your metric units and be very specific. Procedures. This is a numerated list here. Detail step by step of what you did in the order that you perform it. Remember to change the one independent variable and list how you're measuring it in metric units. And don't forget to state how many times to repeat your project. So what you would do is you just click in here and say, okay, first thing, gather materials. Second, create a data table. You're going to highlight and replace this information. Next, you can place pictures that you've taken along the way. Remember that pictures should not have any faces or identifying marks because your project is supposed to be anonymous for judging. Your data table. Okay, so you're going to want to replace the title with the title for your project. You're going to put your trials here and your average. How do we find average? Remember, add, count, divide. Your independent variable, you're going to replace this and put what you're changing. So let's say I'm changing liquids, so I would replace this with maybe Sprite, and then replace this with maybe vinegar, and then my control is water. And I'm going to replace the word unit for whatever you're measuring. Let's say I'm measuring the change in time, and let's say it's minutes. So I would put in minutes, in minutes, in minutes here. Then however many minutes it took for trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and then your average, and so forth. So I put down some notes here. You can add a column and row if you need to. All you have to do is click on the table and then do a 2-finger click, and you can insert rows below, above, columns to the right, columns to the left. You can delete it if you put in there and it doesn't work. Feel free to tweak that and make it fit for your project that you're doing. So what goes in here is just numbers. Next we have the graph. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to the Create a Graph page. For the most part, most of you are going to do bar graphs. I put in some data here. I gave it a title. I gave my x-axis is my independent variable, the thing I changed. My y-axis is what I measured. And then I put group 1, group 2, group 3. You can change that here. And then average. And then items, I put 3. So these are the liquids that I changed. And this was the data that I pulled. And I put here in minutes. Then if you would like for it to show the numbers, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute, you can, this is default yes. You can turn it off if you'd like. So this is the preview. Your title's up here. Your x-axis is labeled. This is the liquid that I changed. This is what you measured, dissolving time in minutes. Then you have your trial 1, 2, 3, and average. So if you want your numbers up here and it works for your project, that's what I mean by this label. If that doesn't work for your project, you can turn it off and preview it with it gone, and those numbers will just be removed. Okay, you can print and save this. You can email it to yourself. You can email it to your teacher. I'm thinking we're going to try to do it to this, email it to the students, and then students, once you get it in your email, we're going to see about doing a screenshot so you can take a picture of it on your Chromebook and insert it into your presentation. So and I've got the directions here to take a screenshot on a Chromebook. You're going to want to do a partial shot. So this is the steps we're going to follow to do that. Default, if that doesn't work, then you can email it to your teacher, and your teacher can do a screenshot. They can pull it up. And teachers, you can do a screenshot on a Mac by hitting Command Shift and 4. Then this little guy comes up and say, this is what I want to take a picture of. And it takes a picture, and it defaults to show on your desktop. Then we can email it to the students and show them how to put it in the slide presentation. So going back to the slide presentation, your conclusion. I've separated out the paragraphs for you, saying, okay, first paragraph in a few sentences, do this. Next paragraph in a few sentences, answer these questions. Then this. So it's kind of scaffolded and marked out for you. Let's say that your first paragraph takes longer. So you can duplicate this slide. So if you come over here, you can two-finger click it and then duplicate the slide, because maybe your conclusion's longer than one slide. I hope that makes sense. So you would then write your first paragraph, and let's say it takes up the whole thing. Then I would delete this, come to my second slide, delete the first paragraph that is already on number 10, and put my second or third or however many slides you need to add. Remember your conclusion, and let's say you did that and you didn't mean to do it. So you two-finger click, then you delete the slide. That's simple. So that's an overview of the slides and how to put the information in there. And everything you need, the most important information from the science packet, I've included it in there with some notes if there's different notes for you that you need to do to better fill out the slide. Now, how to personalize it. You can change your background color here if you would like. You can change the themes. You can click on the words and change the font and personalize it just like we did with the other slide presentation. I would just caution to fill out all of the information first and then make it unique for yourself. But make sure the information is accurate, and that's the most important thing. Then you can add your flair to it. I hope that answers all of your questions, and I hope you have fun doing it. Good luck.